Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is May the 14th, 2019. Strong hand. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. Offended by selling. Be a unique beast. Unconfiscatable. Holder of last resort. World reserve cryptocurrency. Apex predator. All right. Bitcoin is the apex predator. Hey guys, on next Thursday, I've received word that I'm speaking in Long Beach here in the Los Angeles area. 7 p.m. next Thursday, May 23rd. Thank you, Gaston, for setting this up. He is linked to below. The event is linked to below. So check out, he sets up a lot of events in the Los Angeles area. So if you're in the LA area, follow him. He is a great guy, and he's providing the transportation for this event and getting me down there, providing the logistics. So I will be speaking there Thursday, May 23rd, 7 p.m. in Los Angeles. In Long Beach, 240 Pine Avenue. It's linked to below for all you LA freaks, Long Beach freaks, wherever you are in Southern California. I'll see you next Thursday. I want to say that this Friday, This Week in Bitcoin is already planned. Stefan Levera, he's been on the show 2 times. He's got a great podcast. He'll be one of the guests. We'll have 2 other people. It will be at 4 p.m. Los Angeles time. That is 7 p.m. Back east on the East Coast. And it will be 9 a.m. in the morning on Saturday in Sydney, where Stefan will be. So again, that's Friday, 4 p.m. in Los Angeles, and it'll already be Saturday, 9 a.m. in Sydney. So you'll get many reminders about that in the coming days. But I'm excited to have Stefan back on the show. So jumping into the news here. Bitcoin dominance measured in transaction fees. This is a great graph provided by a Cedar. Okay, he's linked to below, whoever he is. Follow me on TechBalt. I already retweeted this, TECHBALT. And of course, everything I talk about is linked to below. But Bitcoin dominance measured in transaction fees. Bitcoin, it has 92%, Ethereum 8%, all others 0%, and which is basically less than 1%, let's call it. So it's an overwhelming chart. Bitcoin, people are using it. It's all of its fees add up to make up 92% of all the fees in the cryptocurrency market, and then Ethereum is next. So people are sending Ethereum and Bitcoin, and very much willing to pay whatever it costs, which isn't very much, but compared to the others, it's overwhelming. And this shows the true dominance of Bitcoin. This chart shows you why you don't want to mess with the other altcoins, where the future is, what is really being used, and what is just speculation. So check out that chart. Speaking about speculation and bubbles, and I'm getting contacted by IEO people, not ICO people, but IEO people wanting me to pump their IEOs, initial exchange offerings, which are just anyway. I'm just pointing that out to everyone. Maybe it's a good sign that the 80%ers are coming back in to buy ridiculous things, and they think they can buy me, but they can't. Pound that like button. Hey, but this is where the big boys play. You got to be careful. People are going to be pitching you all sorts of ridiculous state-of-the-art new crypto trends. Ignore them. Stick with the rock, Bitcoin. There's a lot of crypto noise out there. And Roman Q says, when are you bringing back the microphone? That was only for a week, and that was in Israel before the 10-year Bitcoin anniversary party. Someone lent it to me, and maybe when I'm back in Israel, he'll lend it to me again. But I don't care. I don't care, really, seriously. So I sounds the same to me. Anyway, but thank you for the question, though. Thanks for the question. I can't drag a microphone all around the world with me. I mean, people ask me, why don't you have this? Why don't you have that? I don't like to drag around things around the world with me. I like to go around the world. I like to travel. I don't like to have things drag me down. And if you don't like that, then go watch a show that has fancy sets and graphics. I know, Roman Q, you're not into fancy sets and graphics. It was just a question. Yes, eventually they are asking the Bitcoin Meister to pump IEOs. Laugh out loud. They clearly have no idea who they're contacting. You're absolutely right. People, it's like, it's a form letter. They're like, I love your show. Please pump it. I mean, it's completely ridiculous. I erase them right away. But yeah, there's a whole series of people that will just contact you saying how much they love your show, but it's clear they've never watched the show before. They just want you to, and again, it works for some people. There are plenty of shows out there that will pump IEOs and interview IEOs, all this nonsense. But again, it's personal responsibility, people. You gotta be able to filter this stuff out. Here, another tweet. This is a funny one. This is from That Garage. He says, this is a message he's been getting lately. Hey, are you still into Bitcoin? How much do you have? Should I buy some? Text messages we're all getting right now. Now, I haven't gotten that text message, but I can imagine plenty of people are. The people who only get into things when they're hearing about it in the news. They only get into things when it's going up in price. The entire time it's been going down in fiat price. No. They wanted nothing to do with it. They had a feeling that you had something to do with it. But now that it's going up in price, they want to ask you, the expert. Now they want to get into it. And hey, at least they want to get into it. But it is funny that people get, and again, we haven't even seen the true pump in fiat price in Bitcoin yet. And I'll get into that soon. And that's when people will really start asking people they know have something to do with Bitcoin, like, oh, how do I get this stuff? All right, Bitcoin Primitives has a question. Don't compromise your ethics. Of course, don't compromise your ethics. But I got to tell you something, Bitcoin Primitives, there's very few people who have any ethics out there today. So they're not really compromising anything. Hardly anyone stands for anything in this world anymore. They're willing to change their mind on a dime, and they don't stick with anything. They don't have any conviction. That's one of the sayings on the show. Have conviction. This is conviction. A new show every day. Every day. A new show every day. All right. And it's talking about Bitcoin every day. I'm living this thing, baby. I'm loving it too. Live it, love it. She's just a woman. Led Zeppelin. Okay. Pound that like button for Led Zeppelin. All right. And here is okay, so guys, stay calm, even though I don't appear very calm, because is Adam Meister ever calm? No, but stay. I'm a high energy guy. What am I going to say? But stay calm. This is not this pump that's been going on. This is definitely not like the 2017 pump. And we're not even in the halving hype stage yet. We're not even like the 2016 when it went from 400 to 700. That's probably not what's going on right now. This is some other thing. It's a slow build up. We've clearly started something positive here, okay? But and this could be some whole new element that we're not even familiar with. Maybe it will really pump a lot, but don't be surprised if it goes back down again. This is not the halving hype pump. This is not the post halving pump. Yeah, this is not. This should make you happy. Like if you're getting a good feeling from this pump, hey man, you ain't seen nothing yet, baby. But at the opposite end of the spectrum, you should be prepared that it could go down to $4,000 or $5,000. It doesn't matter. It does not matter because you will be able to sell it for more. You will be able to sell it for more in terms of dollars, but you shouldn't be valuing your wealth in dollars anyway. You should just be trying to get more Bitcoin. Know about this is just. All of this is just a reminder to keep in mind the fundamentals. The big players are coming, the institutions, and they need to buy Bitcoin, okay? GBTC people, all right? That fund, those people who buy into that thing, yesterday, they instead of owning their own private keys, they have to own the GBTC fund for some reason. And they were valuing Bitcoin yesterday at over $10,000, okay? I linked to the GBTC quote below, so you can follow that, people. You multiply it by 100, and that is what they value Bitcoin at. These people who aren't willing, they're willing to pay that much to own some fund that owns Bitcoin. Okay, and so that just shows you that if they're willing to do that and not own their own private key, that big players will be willing to pay a lot for Bitcoin to reconfigure Bitcoin any way they want to sell it to other individuals who aren't willing to hold their own private keys, to hold funds and have custodial accounts, to have fees and all this ridiculousness. Of course, the big players will be willing to pay more than it's worth today for Bitcoin in order to charge people more than Bitcoin is worth today, more than they pay for Bitcoin, okay? Including fees and whatever ridiculous concepts they come up with. And guess what? This is where the big boys play. So let these funds come in and charge people that have custodial accounts and do magical crypto accounting or whatever they're going to do. I mean, I think it's ridiculous that GBTC people exist. And I know you guys are saying, well, I've got a 401k. That's the only way I can invest my 401k into Bitcoin. Dude, you know, I got rid of my IRA like back in 2015 or 14. I forgot. You know what I did with that back then? I turned it into Bitcoin. And, oh, but there are penalties, Adam. You should have saved it until you were 75 years old. Oh, I hope no one's saying that to me. I hope no one's saying that to me. So I got rid of my IRA whenever it was, 2014 or 15. So what was Bitcoin worth then? Like $500 or something like that? Come on. So I turned that small IRA into some Bitcoin. And now what the IRA would never even be worth that much, probably. It would take so many years to get there. Anyway, IRA, you know, you with your IRAs and your 401ks, that's yesterday, dude. That's it. And I had one of them, okay? And I was very willing to part with it, okay? We're entering a whole new era, and we're going to talk about, really put it into perspective when we talk about gold in 1 second. Okay, so Whale Panda says, Bitcoin is a meritocracy. Altcoins and fiat currencies are a theocracy. Pound that like button. I love it, baby. I love that. Yeah. Again, this is the cream of the crop here. This is where the big boys play. If you want to base your faith in money on faith alone, and you know, go to fiat currency. You know, worship your government. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Zoranak says, oh, he said, and I interpret this as meaning Bitcoin. He says cryptocurrency, but keep in mind Bitcoin when I say cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency's intrinsic value is this. They are payment networks that work even where traditional financial systems fail. They work for the unbanked, the underbanked, the censored. No accounts to open, no authorization to seek. That's the value. I love that. I especially like that, no accounts to open. That's how you can explain Bitcoin to your friends. In order to have a bank account, you got to open a bank account. You got to give them information. They got to keep track of you forever and ever. You give them your social security number. And people think with Bitcoin, well, I got to go to Coinbase. I got to open an account. No, you don't have to do that. You do not have to do that. You can just buy a Trezor. You could just create a paper wallet. Yeah, there are other solutions out there where you do not have to create an account, where you give out information, where you have a username, et cetera, et cetera. You do not have to do that with Bitcoin. And I think that is something that people should tell their friends to make it easily understandable and marketable. Because a lot of people don't like having these third parties say, oh, you got to give this information to me. And again, some people, for some unknown reason, feel comfortable by putting their Bitcoin at a Bitcoin bank like Coinbase. But hey, they're going to learn the hard way. Not your keys, not your Bitcoin right there. So no, there are no, in true Bitcoin, there are no accounts to open. Bitcoin Primitive says, Bitcoin Meister, China trade war, good for Bitcoin? Yes, that was yesterday's show. That was basically one of my major points on yesterday's show. Please watch that. It is linked to below, everyone. Yeah, of course, the China trade war is great for Bitcoin. The uncertainty that it's causing, but at the same time, if the United States keeps the upper hand, China is going to suffer. China will suffer, and the people there will suffer because it's all built on a house. It's a house of cards over there. Their economy, and we're calling them out on it. And if we're not going to buy as much of their products anymore because it's going to cost more because we're tariffing it, stuff's going to fall apart over there. So the people who live over there who are smart are not going to want to hold that yuan anymore and not want to speculate on Chinese real estate or speculate on whatever other bubble nonsense they have over there. They're going to want to protect their wealth and get it into Bitcoin. And so, yeah, it's great. So I don't let it drag on for as long as possible. I don't need cheap stuff from Walmart. I don't care about that stuff at all. And let people get into a real asset class, and that's Bitcoin. So yeah, it's great. Benshin said, he sent $5. He says, Adam, you've got bigger cojones than I do. I've only been willing to invest some of my surplus income into Bitcoin. I never invested large sums. Yeah, you are correct. I'm younger than you, though, also, Benshin. So there's a whole, give and take and stuff. I mean, your risk tolerance depends on youth and a lot of things. But yeah, dude, I went all in Bitcoin. I sold the house. I turned it into freaking Bitcoin. Okay. So I knew this was the thing. I practiced what I preached. And again, I got to give Vinny Lingham credit. Yeah, because he did help get me over the edge there. Really take me to the next level. So what is this other Travis Scher at the Digital Currency Group was quoted in this TechCrunch article, and it really sums up nicely what you should tell the gold and hold minded individuals out there. We fully expect Bitcoin to replace gold as the leading non-government controlled store of value over the coming decade. And I agree with that 100%. Well, will it happen over the coming decade? Yeah, the coming decade, that's the 2020s. Yeah. So by 2029, Bitcoin to raise gold, to fully expect Bitcoin to replace. Well, this is the part that I like about it. Gold right now is the leading non-government controlled store of value. It's not controlled by government at all. Real estate is controlled by government. It's taxed by government. Stocks are controlled by the government. They're regulated by the government. Gold is not. It's a way to store. People like it. All those gold people, they've always liked it because the government. It's getting away. They're storing their value, and the government is having no say in in what it's worth and how it's regulated, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, in the recent past, it hasn't been too easy to, I think, store it really and move it at least. And now we've got this digital generation coming up, okay? And everything is going digital in this world. And I was talking about IRA before, and kids are growing up with a completely different mentality toward finance and wealth, and gold just doesn't fit into this paradigm that the youth are growing up in today, okay? And so there are going to be people who want to have a store of value that the government has nothing to do with, a digital gold, as it were, and they're not gonna buy gold. They're just not gonna buy gold. It's so much easier than gold. It is so much easier to travel with it, to send it, to store it, and it fits in so nicely into the modern world that we live in. Gold is definitely a relic of the past. I could really see gold go. I mean, I'm not going to say it will go down in value. I don't see it going up in value. And I see people who don't want anything to do with the government, all those gold bugs of the past. If you're born with that gold bug mentality, you're not going to be led to gold anymore. You're going to find your way into Bitcoin. And people who sort of had a gold bug mentality all these years, who never could get into gold because they didn't want to store in a vault, and they didn't want to pay. It's heavy, it's big. The people who just didn't want to mess with it, but who knew about it, they're going to get into Bitcoin. And they're going to use Bitcoin as a digital gold. Gold and hold, baby. That is what Bitcoin is. And so, yeah, people are going to say, Adam, you don't like gold. No, I don't like gold. I think it's at this point, I think it's completely ridiculous to hold it. This is its replacement. We're seeing it right now. We're seeing it happen. I see no reason to hold it at all, to have anything to do with it. have anything to do. I don't see why. What do you know? Any 18-year-olds that want anything to do with gold except for gold chains? Okay, but as a store of value, as a financial instrument, no. Again, it will, and it'll have a use in industrial but again, people getting gold wedding rings for their loved ones. I've already talked about dudes who've gotten their loved ones Bitcoin. It might replace gold that way, and Bitcoin chains where you're like got a trezor around your neck or something else that we can't even imagine right now might be the new way to show off to your friends that you're rich in the 80%er world. Because again, having a huge gold chain, totally 80%er, totally 80%er, total waste. It gets half of them get robbed, and ask Mr. T what he used to do with gold chains when he was a bouncer and stuff. I mean, he would just steal people's gold chains. All right, so nice flashback to the 80s. Pound that like button with that mohawk. All right, moving on. But no, Bitcoin replaces gold. Pound that like button. And who's this? Roman Q says, people are calling me and saying, take profits. I tell them that 99% of my Bitcoin will never move from their current addresses. Multi-generational thinking. Dude, I love that. I love that way of thinking, Roman Q. And yeah, no, don't take profits now. Don't. Come on. Take profits. Let me translate to you what that really means. Pay short-term capital gains tax to the United States government. Be their slave. No, don't do that. Don't be an 80%er and do that. It will go up more in the future. Hold it for as long as possible. You won't have to pay short-term capital gains tax. You don't even know in the future what the tax regime will be on top of Bitcoin. Maybe it'll just be an official currency wherever you live, and there'll be no taxes to worry about. Who knows? There's no reason. 2020 halving, people. 2024 halving. It's 2020. It's 2019 now. Be patient. Long-term thinking. Don't be impulsive. Defer gratification. 88 Wonder said, "Hey Adam, is it better to run a full BTC node with your BTC on Trezor, or just keep BTC on your Trezor?" Hey, dude, if you're traveling all around and stuff, just keep BTC on your Trezor. If you've really got a full-time space where you live all the time, and there was something else I was going to say about that. It just slipped my mind. And you know what you're doing, okay? Then you can run a full node, okay? But know what you're doing. Just to say, well, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'm going to run a full node. No, that's a pain in the butt. Trezor is just as easy, okay? So again, if you know what you're doing, you have a full place, you're not planning on moving anytime in the next 2 years, set up your full node or whatever. But again, I don't have a full node. I just have storage devices all over the place, okay? And that's the other thing. Running your full node, and I like do both. Have it stored in a lot of different places. I just don't feel comfortable having it all at one place. Moving on. What do we got here? Oh yeah. So I said Travis and Squawkbox NBC. This is hilarious. CNBC. This dude on CNBC who's interviewing Pump. He comes across not so smart of a dude. He says he bought $100 of crypto stuff on Coinbase and it's down like 70%. And he's complaining. He's like, I got, and he was and Pomp asked him, well, did you get Bitcoin? He's like, I got everything that they had on Coinbase. I got. And it's like so typical of a new buyer who doesn't do his research. They go to Coinbase and they buy everything that's there. And then they complain when it goes down, but they didn't even know what they were buying. If they knew what they were buying, they would just get the Bitcoin. And again, this is why some of these altcoins are going to stay inflated for quite some time and are going to want to get onto Coinbase because you've got mentality like this guy. But this guy wants out of it. He's impatient too. He doesn't understand he made a tremendous mistake by getting every single thing that was on Coinbase. And he's very impatient and it's not going to wait for he should turn all of it into Bitcoin now, be 100% in the Bitcoin and just be patient. But so this is a lesson in do your own research, patience, and what 80%ers do. And that what the definition of a top tier altcoin is also. You want to get on Coinbase so that you get guys like this to blindly buy You're buy the bundle, the Coinbase bundle, which I guess this guy bought. A lot of people are going to blindly buy it. Again, Coinbase isn't a bad place to buy your first Bitcoin at, but just only buy Bitcoin there and move it off as soon as you know how to move it off. Don't buy the bundle. Don't buy the other stuff like this. Don't end up like this dude who's trying to rip on Bitcoin. And again, this guy probably has other motives behind what he's saying. He's probably invested into a lot of other things, and he doesn't want Bitcoin to go. I mean, whatever. Short-term thinker, old school dude. Who knows what he is? But it is another. Do not diversify for the sake of diversification. The title of this show. I forgot what I titled this show now, but it's complications of diversification, or something like that. That's a bad. That's an example right there of why you don't diversify for the sake of diversification. Watch it. Bitcoin primitives. He bought the Coinbase bundle. Coinbase bundles trash coins. Yeah. It's the bundle is it's getting worse and worse over there. I believe. I think it has 0x, whatever 0x is. I don't even know what these ridiculous things are that they have. I'm glad I don't know what the heck they have at Coinbase. You should be glad if you don't know what they have on Coinbase. You should just be getting into Bitcoin. And again, the dude ended up with Bcash. He ended up with Bcash. If the dude would have just bought Bitcoin 3 years ago, he would have ended up with Bcash for free and turned it into Bitcoin. But hey, that's the way of the 80%er. That's the way of the people who don't want to learn for themselves, the impulsive people who want Coinbase to do the work for them. That's what you get when you let someone do the work for you. Oh, we'll create this beautiful bundle for you. Yeah, it's real beautiful, real beautiful. And then you get to brag to your friends. You have a crypto portfolio. What's in your crypto portfolio, Adam? Bitcoin. Pound that like button. All right. So, what is this? Oh, Gab. I wanted to share this Gab. No, before I do Gab, this is from Pump. NFL quarterback Matt Barkley tried to get the San Francisco 49ers and Cincinnati Bengals to pay his contract in Bitcoin. Neither would do it. Matt is just one of many Bitcoiners that are playing in the NFL on Sundays. And so I wish more would speak up. Because NFL was a totally 80%er thing that I gave up. What was that? In 2016 when I was in Las Vegas in September 11th, was it, or something like that? I think it was. And it was September 11th, 2016, the day that Hillary Clinton fell down. The day I said, I'm not watching the NFL anymore. Anyway, but a lot of people do. And so if these dudes that they worship start talking about Bitcoin, well, maybe it'll wake some of these dudes up. Now, it's unfortunate that Matt Barkley didn't convince the 49ers or the Bengals to pay him because he'd be doing great. I mean, I think it was at a time when Bitcoin was worth less. Dude, I don't even know who he pays for now. I don't even know who he is, really. I remember his name from college football. I mean, that's how out of touch I am with the NFL now. Pound that like button if you like that Adam's out of touch with the NFL now. Thank God. And when I hear San Francisco and Cincinnati Bengals, I think about that Super Bowl from back in the day with Joe Montana and Boomer Esiason. So that's what I think when I hear those two names combined, not Matt Barkley or whatever. So, all right. But yeah, good. I don't like to talk about the NFL, but that's a positive thing. And Matt, I'm sorry they didn't pay you in Bitcoins because you'd be even richer now. But keep talking about it. Wake these people up, man. So Gab says, at this point, our technology strategy is simple. Fork open source technology. Wrap it in free speech protections of U.S. law and Gab's principles and Bitcoin. Remove altcoins, he uses a different word, ship, and no one can stop us. So again, Gab is just up on the Bitcoin train. They are willing to fork other browsers that are out there and other open source technologies that are out there and incorporate Bitcoin into their model and go for it. So go for it, dudes. Go for it. And this is the opposite of saying, hey, force Facebook to do that. No, they're creating their own Facebook. They're creating their own social network. So good for them. Good for them. And they say no one can stop them. And that's a great attitude to have. Bitcoin Primitive says, Bitcoin Meister, Binance doing update right now. Great. Great for them. I hope no one has their coins at Binance. And he also says, Bitcoin Meister, cancel your cable. put the money in Bitcoin. Well, I've never had, I only had cable. There was like 6 months of my life I paid for cable or something like that. Oh, and I'm ashamed of that. I'm ashamed of that. But you know what? My parents never had cable. My parents never had cable. And I've only had cable for 6 months of my life. I think I had it for free at some places too, but I don't even watch TV anymore. And you probably noticed in all the Airbnbs I stay at, there are these huge TVs. I never even turn them on. I almost turned it on the other day because I knew the Angels were playing the Orioles. And I was like, this TV probably has got that game on it. But then I was like, well, they play in Anaheim and maybe this, I don't even want to mess with it. And then I didn't even watch it. But no, yeah, guys, how can any of you have cable TV now if you're watching YouTube right now and you learn so much from the quality stuff that's on YouTube and it's all free? You have to find it again. You can't have someone guide. It can't, there's no coin. You know, well, there are equivalents of Coinbase, I guess, on YouTube. You know, channels that will tell you what to watch, and you watch, and YouTube tries to steer you in certain directions. But it's so easy to steer to go your own way on YouTube and learn your own thing. And so, why would you have cable TV and pay to watch the nonsense that's on there? And the stuff that I hear, and I'll talk about this on Saturday's show, is Game of Thrones. Is that on cable? I don't even know what the heck that is on. But the people out there that are wasting their time with that, and they're going to be the ones complaining in the future. How did you know about Bitcoin so early? I knew about Bitcoin so early because I wasn't sitting there picking my butt, watching Game of Thrones and then talking about it for 8 hours all day. I mean, this is ridiculous, this stuff. I mean, I know names of the people on there because Ben Shapiro's even talking about it. It's ridiculous. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. You are becoming a worshiper of whatever conglomerate makes that darn show, okay? You are their slave. And I just spent way too much time on that. Learn about Bitcoin, for God's sakes. Whew. All right, moving on. Mimblewimble coin, which is a crypto dividend of Bitcoin that you can sign up for right now. It's an airdrop. The snapshot date is what, July 19th, okay? I see that these dudes, and I linked to it below, they have a Chinese site now. This is great. They're reaching out to the Chinese people who've got Bitcoin, who want to get crypto dividends, and who want to get airdrops. Good for them. Good for them. Good job, Mimblewimble coin, for translating into China. It's very proactive, Chinese. It's very proactive of you. And hey, dudes, you don't want the Chinese to beat you on this one. You guys who understand my voice right now, who speak English, sign up for it. Get your free MWC. Turn it into Bitcoin in the future. If this Mimblewimble is so great, you can send it or do it anonymously or whatever you want to darn do. If you'd like to hold crypto dividend, fine. I don't care. You're getting it for free. And then they'll be in 2 years, someone will be like, how much do I pay for Mimblewimble coin, Adam? You should have bought it right now, dude, if you're watching this in 2020. You should have got it for free, right now, if you're watching this in 2021. All right. So that consensus thing is still going on. Pound that like button. And Andrew Yang is speaking tomorrow afternoon there. And that's going to be very interesting. I wonder if he'll get in the news because of that. I hope he does, because I want people to get to know about Bitcoin. And I think if he really jumps on the Bitcoin train, maybe I predicted there'd be a click in the Bitcoin world that would really get gung-ho behind him. And hey, maybe that'll help his campaign, and maybe that'll help Bitcoin, and maybe it'll bring Bitcoin onto the national debate stage, and all the candidates will be forced to talk about it, and then more people will learn about it. You know what? I don't think any of these politicians are going to. They're not going to solve any Bitcoin issues. I'm not saying that. I'm not relying on one person. I'm relying on them as free marketing tools, and I want more people to find out about them. Okay, so Bitcoin Primitive says, is Ben Shapiro into Bitcoin? No, he's not. No, he's not. He advertises. Some of the companies that he's advertised in the past, he says you could buy crypto through them. I forgot what company that is. It wasn't eToro. It was one of those ridiculous ones. But he mentions gold. Oh, diversify into gold. He hasn't done. I think advertisers reach out to him, and so advertisers that deal with gold, they know that the audience that is watching him, there are going to be some older people that are still interested in gold and stocks and IRAs and all this stuff. So he has those type of advertisers. He really should be proactive and get in touch with cryptocurrency companies, and they'll start advertising on there. But there are plenty of people in the crypto who watch Ben Shapiro, okay? So he really should be into it. He has no excuse. Maybe he's not into it because he's too busy watching Game of Thrones with his wife. He thinks that's fun or something like that. I don't think that's a, he's a very busy man and everything. Get rid of Game of Thrones and cable. Ben Shapiro likes to talk about watching movies. He lives over there in the Valley. He's still got this Los Angeles mentality in his head because he lives here. He grew up here. But that's 80% or stuff. You're a genius, Ben. You shouldn't care about these stupid movies that you watch. And he's critiquing movies all the time. Dude, learn about Bitcoin. Value your wealth. Turn all your wealth into Bitcoin. I mean, it would be a darn shame if I end up wealthier than Ben Shapiro. But the way things are going, I might. I mean, that would be quite amazing. That'd be quite amazing. All right. So because that dude is he's a genius dude, and he's a very well-known individual, and he's got a big company and very popular and stuff. You would think he would end up in life wealthier than I do. But if he doesn't get into Bitcoin soon. Anyway, I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. Check out the link section below. Click on those squares. Pound that like button. I will talk to you dudes in the chat right now. Bye-bye.